Oh, hey guys, how you going? Welcome to Phoenix Live. Today I want to talk about the ABC. Oh shit! Today I want to talk about the ABCs, which is all about the allowances that we make. Oh shit! All right, it's all about the allowances that we make. It's about the boundaries that we set, and it's about the commitments that we maintain. And that's what I'm talking about today. The ABCs. So if you have any kind of vision in your life, a vision of how you want your life to be, what kind of lifestyle you would like to have or develop or enriching, then these three things are most relevant. The commitments you make, the allowances you make, and the boundaries that you set in place. So let's say you're a vegan, okay? Let's just go straight into this. So let's say you're a vegan, and you've made a commitment for whatever reason, whether it's for your health, whether it's because it's cruel, the practice of slaughtering animals, raising them in filth just so they can die in filth. Whatever the reason, if you're committed to not consuming animal products, then that is because you wish to embody the value, let's say, of being altruistic and caring about the animals, or caring for your health and wanting to be physically fit and optimal. Whatever the reason, you make that commitment because there's a motivation, okay? Even if it's something that people will view as being like selfless and altruistic, that still makes you feel good about yourself, that you are living in alignment with your morals and your ethics. So it's still fulfilling a need on your part. Even if that's a need to feel selfless, even if that's a need to feel altruistic, we make these commitments because they matter to us, okay? Now, generally when you make commitments to any kind of vision, any kind of way of life or practice, it's very important that you set boundaries. So we're moving backwards here. We're going from CBA, commitments, boundaries, and allowances, okay? So you need to put boundaries in place. So let's say you're vegan, right? So the boundary is you don't consume animal products, right? Now, there's absolutely no point whatsoever setting a commitment or trying to commit to something if you're not going to set boundaries. You can't maintain a commitment. You cannot. You cannot maintain a commitment if you do not set boundaries. These are healthy. If you set boundaries in a good way, it will promote a system of management or a ritual of habitual practice. It will promote a routine way of being able to do things, because we adapt to boundaries. When we truly set boundaries, we adapt to them. And some boundaries, if you're overzealous with it, can actually be regressive and go against your development. Whereas other boundaries can actually promote greater harmony and growth. For example, if you're going to the gym, you're going to set a boundary on how much you do in your workout, because you don't want to overwork yourself, because then it's going to be regressive. Alright, so that's one example. If you want to maintain hygiene in your home, you're going to set boundaries and say, okay, I'm only allowed to leave plates out with food on them, or unwashed plates for so long. I'm allowing myself to do this much, but I'm setting a boundary here. And when I hit that boundary, that's going to be what kicks my commitment back into full throttle. Okay, so that's what your boundaries are there for. Your boundaries are set so that you can maintain your commitment to health, to not eating animal products, whatever it is. Now, the third part of this comes in now is allowances, all right? So commitments, boundaries, and allowances. Now, if you're a vegan, let's say you're out on the road and, you're going to be driving, you're in the middle of a road trip, right? And you're on really long roads, like really rural, and there's not many shops around. So you go to like a petrol station, okay? Let's say it's late at night. You didn't manage to catch lunch, so you're really hungry, right? And you know that you've got so much driving to do, and you know that your energy is waning and you need to consume something. So you go into the petrol station, they don't have any vegan products whatsoever. No vegan products. They got some pies, they got some sausage rolls, they got some chips. Okay, but like chips with like animal flavoring. So you might say to yourself as a vegan, I'm going to make an allowance, okay? This one time, or just for now, I'm making this allowance so that I can put something in my mouth, something in my belly, and I can feel better and I can have energy to drive safely and not endanger someone else's life or my own. So I think it's healthy to make room for and allow for for allowances for the boundaries that you've set. Normally you would uphold your boundary, because if you don't uphold your boundary, you're not going to uphold your commitments, right? The boundaries are like the bones of your commitments. They keep you in line, and they help you bring to life whatever help you develop whatever it is you're committed to developing. Whether it's a lifestyle, a certain physique, you've got to put boundaries in place. But every now and then, if you go over the top with your boundaries, right, and you don't make enough room for allowances, for exceptions, you know what I mean? Such as you being on the road, you're vegan, you need to eat something so you can keep driving. So that one-off, you make an allowance. Maybe a few times here and there, you make allowances. Maybe it's maybe you don't drink alcohol, and you're at a funeral or a wedding, and they're passing around guava, or some kind. I don't know. I'm trying to remember the kind of alcohol. It was like a Russian thing, but anyway. And so you say, fuck it, I'm celebrating. I'm going to make an allowance to have one drink. Now, if you're like a recovering alcoholic, naturally it goes without saying that the boundary you've set against consuming any alcohol is probably a good one to uphold. It's probably a good idea to keep that boundary. If you aren't a recovering alcoholic and you just don't like to drink because you like to focus on your health, right? You're a fitness junkie. You might make an allowance every now and then. Now, there are some people that are really hung up on setting these boundaries because they're trying to uphold a commitment, and they don't make any allowances whatsoever, okay? To the point where sometimes it would be so convenient if they could make an allowance, but for whatever reason, because of guilt or because it's dissonance, they don't want to go back on their commitment, they see it as regressing, so they'll go through those inconvenient scenarios. And I think it's really important that we identify our values, that we do commit to our values, just standing and operating and living within the realm of our ethics and our ideology. I think that's important. And also to set boundaries in place to make sure that, we maintain that commitment. But if you don't set allowances, you don't leave any leeway whatsoever, context doesn't even matter, the scenario doesn't even matter, there's no exception, then we start heading more towards absolutism. And absolutism, my friends, is just as unhealthy as anything else. To me, in this world, everything is relative. Alright? Your needs at the time and how you can meet your needs is relative to what's around you at the time and to what is within your capacity to attain at the time. So sometimes we have to make compromises. You know what I mean? In order to fulfill needs. It's like I said, a vegan might eat an animal product just so that they don't fall asleep at the wheel and crash and kill somebody or themselves. So that they're prioritizing the value of life over upholding this commitment they've made 100% of the way, no exceptions, right? If you don't make allowances, that's absolutism. You're no longer being relative to the context. You're no longer being relative to the situation and what's available to you. But instead, it's not even a question of context. It's not even a question of relativity. It's pure absolutism, meaning regardless, this is how I'm doing it every single time. This is my code. This is my rule. And, I think everything in moderation, that includes moderation itself. Sometimes we can benefit from going to excess. Excess in moderation, sure thing. Moderation in moderation, even more like, these people you've met that are really anal, like so moderate in everything, like they count every calorie, or like, just whatever it is. And it's like, dude, just like loosen up, you know what I mean? Like, I respect the whole commitment and boundaries thing, But you don't want to become anal. You don't want to be an absolutist who you can't see from life, especially if we're talking ideology. Especially if we're talking ideology. Because then absolutism becomes extremism, doesn't it? And there's a difference between a true feminist that stands for like disempowered females across the globe, the disempowered divine feminine and repressed divine feminine. But then you have feminazis, as some might say, feminazis who just take it that one step further to the extreme, and there's a chip on their shoulder. They might have a penchant for hating males or hating on males, for downplaying and trivializing any way that a male is actually affected by today's society in a not fantastic way. When you start getting morally absolute, and it's not even relative anymore, like you say, like, regardless, if somebody does, for example, if somebody does this crime, commits this crime, it doesn't matter about the state of mind, it doesn't matter if they were on drugs or alcohol at the time, it doesn't matter if they were even conscious that they were doing it, or if they've got a handicap. These things don't even matter. You're going to give them the same judgment. That's moral absolutism. That's the same kind of idea of like, and I'm not saying if you really stand by your guns and you set boundaries to not, let's say, consume meat because you're vegan. I'm not saying that you're like an extremist and that you're a moral absolutist, but there might be some moral absolutist characteristics there, dynamics there. And I think, like I said, the example of not crashing your car and you just need to eat something and animal product is all that's available. That's like a good example of a time for me where I personally would make an allowance. I would consider it me prioritizing life over my need to uphold this commitment just for this once. I'd balance it out, you know what I mean? And that would end up being safer for everybody. That will end up having a more optimal outcome than if I just like force myself to have no food, drive tired, because I'm being morally absolute without any regard for relativity to the context of the situation at hand. Does that make sense? So anyway, guys, that's it. That's just a quick one for now. I just wanted to touch on that. So, 3 things. A, B, C. All right? Take this down. You got to B. You got to make allowances. A for allowances. You got to set boundaries. And there's a balance between the boundaries and the allowances that you make, okay? So allowances, boundaries, and commitments. Because the boundaries that you set are the bones of your commitments, and they help to really flesh it out into reality, whatever it is you're committing to. It helps to manifest that and maintain that. If you keep your boundaries in place, you keep committed to your boundaries, but you keep a balance with making allowances, or it just seems like a better idea to do so at the time. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was useful. Much love to you, and I'll see you later.